So board, remember we made a move on the agenda, so we're going to go back to an action item, which is 9.0, and we are going to vote on changes to the 2020-2021 academic calendar. Dr. Talley is going to give us this information. So before she does that, let's get a motion on the floor, so then we can open it up for discussion. So do I hear a motion to approve the revisions, adjustments to the 2020-2021 academic school calendar?
Madam Chair, I move that the Lexington School District 1 Board of Trustees approve the revisions, adjustments to the 2020-2021 academic school year.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Oswald. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Powers. Okay, now at this time, we'll turn it over to Dr. Talley. Let her walk us through these changes, and I know we've had some changes from Superintendent Spearman and from the governor, and so kind of fill us in.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the board. Tonight I am bringing you recommended revisions to the 2020-2021 academic calendar, and I'll start with the most important thing that I think parents and you would want to know, and that is tonight I'm recommending that we do push back the start of the school year for students to August 31st. This will allow the district, as has already been mentioned tonight, we need time to develop a quality and safe school opening, and this does give us 2 weeks prior to the opening to work with our staff to ensure academics, safety, and that all precautions will be implemented successfully. And then, of course, as has already been delineated by Dr. Smith, that would also give us 4 weeks in a hybrid model, so that on September 28th, if all conditions are favorable, we would start, as Dr. Little has said, our goal has always been to start a 5-day face-to-face model. The changes, I want to be real transparent about this. The changes in the revised calendar, we've worked very hard to make them the most least disruptive that we could. It's not a perfect calendar, but this calendar does accomplish a few goals for us. It gives us time to have more data regarding the COVID-19 spread. We're certainly interested in that. It provides us with monthly natural breaks first semester. You will notice in this calendar that we still have November 25th through the 27th for Thanksgiving break. You'll also notice that we have December 23rd through January 1st as a winter break. We were able to shave off a day there. And then we have, which is I think is very important, intentional breaks second semester. Those breaks you'll find on February 15th. That's a holiday for teachers and students. March 15th, which is a Monday, would be a long weekend break. This will help our students and our staff sort of catch our breath. And also in the event that we have a heavy flu season, which we potentially could have, we know that we need a weekend to sort of, again, get over that and nurse ourselves and get back to health. This calendar also provides for us a week for spring break, April 5th through the 9th. In this calendar, the first semester ends January 15th. That gives us 86 days in the first semester. And the last day for students in this calendar would be June the 9th. The last day for teachers would be June 15th. This calendar also provides us with leap days, which are 5 additional days in the teacher's calendar for in-person school days for students in grades 4 through 8. These days, as I mentioned to you before, are to use for us to do pre-assessments of students, for teachers to go through an orientation, for principals to provide professional learning. And our parents, we've been working really hard this week with our principals to develop communications so that they can communicate those leap days and the schedules that week for our parents. We've been working with transportation. We had a meeting today with Mr. Caldwell and his team, and with food service, because we'll be providing food during those leap days as well as providing transportation. I also mentioned to you that Lexington 1 this year, we're excited about this. We're an e-learning pilot district, which means that if we have inclement weather, we'll still have school in a virtual setting. The EOC recommends that e-learning pilot districts schedule e-learning that gives our schools, e-learning days that gives our schools time to facilitate or a simulated virtual learning day. So you'll notice in this calendar, those days are September the 18th, which is Friday, and September 25th, also a Friday, which is already built into that Friday e-learning day. We will collect data. I know Dr. Powers is a data guy. He's always asking us, how are you going to collect data to see how you did? We will collect data from not only our teachers, but our students as well about those 2 days and how that experience went, so we can make changes to implement with fidelity those e-learning days. You probably are going to ask me, so I'll proact to your questions. You always want to know, what are local districts around us doing? When are they going to start? So Lexington 2 is going to start the first day for students on August 31st. And like us, they're going to have a staggered student start. Lexington 3 is also going to start on August 31st. Lexington Richland 5 has not made a decision. They have made a decision to start September 8th. That could change. Lexington 4 is going to start on August the 17th. Richland 1 is going to start September the 8th. Don't know about Richland 2 yet. And I'm sure you saw it today or yesterday, Charleston will start September the 8th. So we feel good about this calendar. Again, it's not perfect, but we feel like it's the calendar that would help our community this next school year. So I'm seeking your approval.
Thank you, Dr. Talley. Are there any questions regarding the calendar before we vote on it?
And I think you said, but the input that drove this calendar involved our teachers, our parent advisory committees, and others, or I know the timeline for this wasn't as long as our normal calendar.
What was the last thing you said, Dr. Powers?
The parent advisory committees, student advisory committees or teacher advisory committees. I know normally we try to vet the calendar by those kind of three big
Well,
stakeholders.
we do have a calendar committee, and it is representative of all the stakeholders. Yes, sir.
Any other questions, board?
Yes, so did this go to the calendar committee for
Yes, ma'am.
feedback?
It did, and I have received feedback very favorably from the calendar committee.
Okay, so the calendar committee had a meeting?
We did not have a meeting. I did confer with 3 members of the calendar committee, and I did send the revised calendar, the changes to the calendar committee, and they have sent me back feedback, and it was very favorable.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor for the changes to the 2020-2021 academic calendar. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Jade is opposed.
Okay, so anybody else besides Jada? So it's 6-1 in favor, and the calendar passes, and let's put the keys in the ignition, and we're taking off. So